Slowly make your way into child's pose. So easy transition, however that looks like for you. Here, we're going to walk those fingertips forward. Pull those shoulder blades down. Draw those abs in. Simply breathing in and breathing out. If you have an injury, letting you know now, knowing that we can modify as needed, resting as often as you may need, stopping and taking water breaks when you need, setting your intention for tonight's practice, and not being afraid to challenge yourself. So from here, we're going to make our way up into a tabletop position, hands and knees. Coming to rest on the top of the feet. We're going to tuck your elbows under, soften them, scoop your abs in, chin away from your chest and look forward. Not to the front of the room, but find a spot on the floor in front of you. Then we're going to tuck our toes under. We're going to press your feet back, a chance just to start to stretch that fascia, those toes. Elbows are bent, so you're going to engage those muscles, abs pulled in, and we're going to bring your knees just barely off the mat. So hovering tabletop here, easy. Again, try not to lock your elbows, looking forward, and let's draw those abs in. We're going to hold this for 3, 2, and 1, dropping those knees back down into tabletop. We're going to lift right arm, left leg off the mat for spinal balance, reaching and extending in opposite directions. Coming back to tabletop. Left arm, right leg, soften that right elbow. Reaching fingertips and toes in opposite directions. And coming back to tabletop. Toes are tucked under, elbows are bent, abs pulled in. We're going to bring your knees off the mat to hover. Then from here, we're going to make our way up into downward facing dog. Shifting your weight back in the balls of your feet, a chance to just stretch those Achilles, calves, muscles into your hamstrings. We're going to come back to hovering tabletop. So draw those shoulders over your wrists, knees barely off the mat, and look forward. Then make your way back to downward facing dog. Releasing those heels, pulling your knees back. Coming back to hovering tabletop. Elbows are bent, looking forward, abs pulled in. And then back to downward facing dog. Easy transition. And then once more, we're going to come back to hovering tabletop. Knees right over the mat, not touching, looking forward. And then pressing back to downward facing dog. From here, we're going to walk your hands back to join your feet. So as many hand steps as you need. Pausing for a moment, hands wherever's comfortable for you. Take a moment to shake your head yes and no. Just letting that neck truly relax. And then we're going to bend your knees, inhale, circle sweep up. Hands at heart center. Hands down to your sides and coming into mountain. So mountain, feet equally hip level apart. Toes forward, heels behind you, tucking your tailbone under. And your weight is equally on your right foot and left foot. Now draw your shoulders back over your hips and then pull your ears back. Hands are free to rest, whether your palms are facing forward or towards your thighs, it doesn't matter. But while you're rooted equally through right foot and left foot, we want to lift through your crown. Just feel that spine extend, lengthen. Then from here, we're going to walk your feet together. So heels hold your feet together. Squeeze your inner thighs together, inhale, circle, sweep up. We're going to hinge through your knees and your hips, hands at heart center for forward fold. With your legs together, pausing for a moment, hands wherever's comfortable for you. Take a look at your knees or your thighs. Bending your knees, inhale, circle, sweep up. We're going to sit back in a chair. So feet are together. We're going to drop your sit bones back, weight into the balls of your feet, and squeeze those inner thighs together. Take a look at your fingertips as you reach towards the ceiling. We're going to bend your knees, inhale, circle, sweep up. Sitting back down to chair. So shift the weight back in the balls of your feet. Squeeze those thighs together. Wiggling your toes. Inhale, circle, sweep up. And sitting back into the final chair of the sequence, drop your sit bones back. Now pull your shoulders down. Then remember your hands at heart center. We're going to shift forward and lift your heels off the mat. Don't worry about how high you're going. Just start to feel the change of your weight. Shifting your weight more forward in the balls of your feet. We're going to release your heels, come into forward fold. We're going to walk your feet up level apart. Bend your knees and be able to place at least 2 fists side by side between your feet. There's space for that, minimally. Making sure your toes are forward, heels are behind you. You're going to bend your knees, inhale, circle, sweep up. And sitting in a chair here, we're going to, as you sit back in the chair, shift the weight more in the balls of your feet. Again, toes are feel free to wiggle. And making sure your knees are tracking more towards your second and third toe, rather than your big toes. Earlier chair, we squeeze your thighs together. So now we're distinctly shifting the weight more center. Then inhale, circle sweep up. We're sitting back in a chair here. Again, shifting your weight back, sitting low. We're gonna hands at heart center, shifting forward and lifting your heels off the mat. Don't worry about how high you're going. And we're gonna come back to forward fold, pull your belly button in. Pausing for a moment, take a look behind you. Then take a look at the top of your mat and walk your hands forward into our first plank. So plank is starfish hands, shoulders over your wrists, and walk your feet back. Just the back of the toes are contact with the mat. Elbows are tucked under, and look forward. Soften your elbows. Scoop your abs in and press your feet back. Engage those quads. We have 5 here. And then we're gonna slowly lift up in downward facing dog. Pulling those heels back, a bit more space between your hands and feet in this downward facing dog than our first. Just feeling the stretch, the reach, the lengthen. Moving forward to plank. From here, we're gonna come down to our knees together. Keep your toes tucked under. So you're not coming to rest on the top of your feet, elbows are tucked under. You're gonna lower yourself halfway down. So check here that your elbows are coming in towards your torso. Then we're gonna come all the way down for forward fold, all the way down, for 4-point staff. Big toes together and coming into child's pose. So separate your knees and just sink the sit bones back. Keep your hands reaching forward, feel that stretch. You're gonna tuck your toes under, coming back in downward facing dog. Forward to plank. Elbows are tucked under, feel free to come to your knees. This time we're gonna come 4-point staff straight down the mat. Big toes together and coming back into child's pose. Pull your belly in and sitting back. Tucking your toes under, coming back in downward facing dog. Forward to plank. 4-point staff straight down the mat. Squeeze your elbows in, flat to the mat. Big toes together, coming back into child's pose. And then we're gonna tuck your toes under, lifting back up to downward facing dog. Taking a look at the top of your hands, taking a look at your hands, top of your mat, we're gonna walk your feet forward. So walk your feet as many feet steps as you need for forward fold near the top of your mat. Feet are hip level apart and letting your head just hang. You're gonna bend your knees, inhale, circle sweep up. We're gonna come into mountain. From mountain, we're gonna turn over your right shoulder and we're gonna step the right foot out. Turn your toes out slightly so your knees are tucking towards your toes. Hands at heart center, press your palms together, forearms are parallel to the mat. And then sitting down into that squat. So we're not sitting back into a chair, so drop your tailbone down. Now take a look and be able to see at least each big toe. So you're gonna reposition your feet, your knees. You want those knees to track more towards your second and third toe. Tailbone is tucked under and just sink down. Then from here, we're gonna keep your hands at heart center. We're gonna slowly lifting your legs, extending your legs, straightening them. And then we're gonna come back into that squat. So here's your prayer squat. Press your palms together, start to engage your chest, tuck your tailbone under. We're gonna lengthen your legs, keep your hands at heart center. And just feel that extension up through your legs, sitting back in that squat. Now we're gonna keep your legs, so we're gonna only move arms. Hands always at heart center, we're gonna reach your fingertips to the ceiling. So trying to collapse the space between your wrists. Hands back at heart center. Your legs are still in the squat. Belly button pulled in once more, we're gonna bring your fingertips to the ceiling. Palms together. Going back at hands at heart center. We're gonna move lower and upper body together. We're gonna slowly inhale, coming up. And coming back into prayer squat, and your breath in. Breath out, pardon me. Inhale, coming up. And then back into prayer squat, and your breath out here. 2 more. Inhale, coming up. Keep your palms together. Exhale into prayer squat. Inhale, coming up. And back into prayer squat, and your breath out. Shoulders pull back and sinking down. We're gonna stay here, lower body. Keep your palms together. We're gonna just lift your left heel off the mat. Just your left heel, now drop your tailbone down, back a little bit. Sink down a little bit deeper. Releasing your left heel, and lifting your right heel off the mat. Drop your tailbone down. Releasing your right heel, inhale, coming up. We're gonna turn your toes, going towards the new front of the room. Bring your fingertips out to your right, your left palms are facing down, roll your shoulders back, and hinging through your hips so your fingertips are trying to reach the outside of your feet. And then you're gonna let your head just hang freely. Spreading those feet, so press your feet, rooting your feet. We tend to hear start to kind of turn inward and letting the outside of your feet come off the mat. So rooting the 4 corners of your feet here. Eyes are up and take a look behind you. Shaking your head yes and no. And you're gonna bend your knees and circle sweep up. We're gonna walk your right foot to join your left. We're gonna come into mountain. We're gonna turn to face the front of the room. Feet hip level apart, inhale, circle sweep up. We're gonna sit back in a chair. So drop your weight back, wiggling your toes, and come into forward fold. Hands down on the mat. Take a look behind you. We're gonna step your feet back and walk into plank. So hands are gonna stay forward. Find your plank. Shifting forward, here's your chaturanga. Squeeze your elbows in through to cobra or up dog and back to down facing dog. So we're gonna build some heat. We're gonna come forward to plank. Shifting forward, feel free to come to your knees, chaturanga, through to cobra or up dog and back to down facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back. Now bring the right foot in place between your hands. One or many steps for lower lunge. Hands stay here. Press your left foot back. Then you're gonna step your left foot to join your right feet together and sitting back into that chair. Let your inner thighs squeeze together. We're gonna press up to tall mountain. Tuck your tailbone under with or without a back bend. Reaching through your hips, forward fold. Right foot's gonna stay here. We're gonna step your left foot back. Draw your left leg back. So extend that left leg so you're feeling the stretch and step back to down facing dog. Forward to plank. Shifting forward, here's your chaturanga. Squeeze your elbows in. Cobra or up dog and back to down facing dog. We're gonna step the left foot back, so pull your right knee back, reach your left toes to the ceiling, and then step your left foot forward for lower lunge. Both hands stay here. Press your right foot back so you're straightening your right leg and feeling the stretch. Then we're gonna step your right foot forward one or many steps, feet together, and sitting right back in a chair. So drop the weight in the balls of your feet. You're gonna press up to tall mountain with or without a back bend. Squeeze those inner thighs together, squeeze your glutes. We're gonna swan dive down. Hands are gonna stay here, left foot's gonna stay here. We're gonna step your right foot back. Here's your lower lunge. And then press back and down facing dog. Forward to plank. Shifting forward, here's your chaturanga. Squeeze your elbows in, cobra or up dog. And then back and down facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back. And then bring the right foot forward for lower lunge. Pausing for a moment. We're gonna sweep your hands back and up and come to high lunge. So draw your shoulders back. Charge your left leg back. Reach your finger to the ceiling. Then we're gonna cartwheel those hands either side of your right foot. Step your left foot forward, feet together, and right into chair. So sinking down, lift your head above your heart. We're gonna press up to tall mountain with or without a back bend. Swan dive down. Right foot's gonna stay here. We're gonna step your left foot back. And then sweeping your arms back and up and come up to high lunge. So upper arms are high. Charge your left leg back. We're gonna cartwheel those hands and step back and down facing dog. We're gonna come forward to plank. Shifting forward, here's your chaturanga. Squeeze your elbows in, cobra or up dog and back and down facing dog. We're gonna step the left foot back and then bring your left foot through for lower lunge. Pausing for a moment here, then sweep your arms back and up. So add that high lunge. Draw your right leg back. Try not to sink into your right knee. Then we're gonna cartwheel your hands. Step your left foot to join your right foot to join your left, and sitting right into chair. So right into chair, there's no forward fold. Heads above your heart, hearts above your tailbone, and sink down. We're gonna press up to tall mountain. Tuck your tailbone under with or without a back bend, your choice. Swan dive down. Left foot's gonna stay here. We're gonna step your right foot back. Here's lower lunge. Sweep your arms back and up and come to high lunge. And then we're gonna cartwheel those hands and come back and down facing dog. We're gonna add on. We're gonna come forward to plank. You can choose to stay here. Feel free to come to your knees. We're gonna come halfway down. Squeeze those elbows in. You're looking forward. Don't look at your mat. Press back to plank. Then we're gonna shift forward. Here's your chaturanga, cobra or up dog, and back and down facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back for three-legged dog. Then step your right foot through for lower lunge. Both sets toes facing forward. Sweep your arms back and up. Come to high lunge. Draw your left leg back. Feel free to come to your knee, whether you're off your knee or you're on it. We're gonna cartwheel those hands. We're gonna step your left foot forward, but feet are gonna be hip level apart. So step the left foot forward, feet hip level apart and sitting into chair. Think about where your knees are tracking here. More towards the second and third toe. Then we're gonna press up to tall mountain with or without a back bend. We're gonna swan dive down. Right foot's gonna stay here. We're gonna step your left foot back, lower lunge, sweep up to high lunge. Draw your left leg back, then cartwheel those hands, and step back and down facing dog. We're gonna finish it out. We're gonna come forward to plank. You can choose to stay here. We're gonna come halfway down, press back to plank, then shift forward. Here's your chaturanga. Squeeze your elbows in, cobra or up dog, and back and down facing dog. We're gonna step the left foot back. Then bring your left foot through for lower lunge. Both sets toes facing forward. Sweep your arms back and up, come to high lunge. Draw your right leg back. We're gonna cartwheel those hands. We're gonna step your right foot forward, but feet hip level apart. Then into that chair. So wiggling your toes, so you're sinking into your hips. Heads above your heart, hearts above your tailbone. And then you slowly press up to tall mountain, with or without a back bend. And then we're gonna swan dive down. Left foot's gonna stay here. We're gonna step your right foot back, lower lunge. Sweep your arms back and up, come to high lunge. Arms are high to help elevate that heart rate. Draw your right leg back. Then we're gonna cartwheel those hands and step back into downward facing dog. We're gonna come forward to plank. We're gonna come down to your right knee, pivot your right foot behind you, and place the inside of your left foot to the mat. And then trying to press the outside of that foot. So you're rooting all four corners of your left foot. Stack your hips and shoulders and lift your left hand to the ceiling. Then now bring your left foot off the mat. So not worrying about how high you're going to start. We're still warming up the hip. But try not to dump the weight into your right shoulder, but lift your left hand up to the ceiling. Take your gaze and look at your left hand. We're gonna roll that left hip back slightly. Then we're gonna bring your left foot to the mat. Left hand back, make your way back to plank. So come back to your plank. Charge your legs back, elbows are tucked under. We're gonna look forward. Pull your belly button. We're gonna bring your knees down to simply take the mat and then press back to plank. Then we're gonna come down to your left knee, pivot your left foot behind you. Turn that right foot in, rooting all four corners of your foot. So that's gonna just roll your knee back a bit. Stack your shoulders and lift your right hand up to the ceiling. Try not to dump the weight into your left shoulder, but reach up. Choice is to stay here or bring your right foot off the mat. Not worry about the height of your right leg. We wanna reach your right hand high. Take your gaze and look up. And then just trying to roll that right shoulder back, the right hip back a little bit. Just get some rotation. And then make your way back to plank. Find that neutral plank position. Elbows are tucked under, look forward, pull your belly button in. Together, we're gonna bring your knees down for simply the tag the mat and press back to plank and then back to down facing dog. We're gonna walk those hands back to join your feet so we travel to the back of your mat. Forward fold for a moment and then walk those hands up your legs. Ears over shoulders, shoulders are hips. Tuck your tailbone under and lifting through your crown. Then we're gonna walk your hands down for forward fold. Pausing for a moment. And then look at the top of your mat. We're gonna walk those hands forward into plank. So right into plank. Option is to stay here. We're gonna meet you here. We're gonna come halfway down. Press back to plank. And then we're gonna come back to downward facing dog. And then walk those hands back to join your feet. So forward fold. Pausing for a moment. Then walk those hands up. Make your way to mountain. Roll your shoulders back. Rooting. Tuck your tailbone under. And then we're gonna walk those hands back down for forward fold. Pausing for a moment. Take a look at the top of your mat. Walk those hands forward. It's a lot of core in that transition as you walk forward to plank. Now, we're gonna come 7/8 of the way down. We're gonna come down and then press back. Use your knees if you need to. Press back to plank and then back to down facing dog. Then walk those hands back to join your feet. As many hand steps as you need. Pausing for a moment. Take a look behind you so that eyes are open, looking behind you, let your head truly hang free. Then we're gonna walk those hands up. Make your way to mountain, roll your shoulders back, stacking vertebrae by vertebrae. Tailbone is tucked under. Walk those hands down for forward fold. Then look forward, and then walk those hands forward. Here's your plank. Elbows are tucked under. You can stay here. We're gonna come halfway down, press back to plank, and now we're gonna come 7/8 of the way down. And then press back to plank. Use your knees if you want, lift your tailbone up. Then we're gonna come back to down facing dog. And then walk those hands back to join your feet. As many hand steps as you need, forward fold. Take a look behind you. Then walk those hands up. Here's mountain. And then walking back down for forward fold. Take a look at the top of your mat. We're gonna walk those hands forward back into plank. So plank. And then we're gonna come down to your right knee, pivot your right foot behind you, and turn to place that left foot to the mat, rooting the four corners of your left foot, so that rolls that left knee back a bit. Then stack your hips and shoulders and reach your left hand to the ceiling. We're gonna pause here for a moment. So press that left little toe into your mat. Then we're gonna bring your left foot off the mat, pressing through the bottom of the foot, and turn to bring that left leg a little higher. Now point your toes, and take your left hand and reach towards the front of the room. Point your toes a little higher. We're gonna press through the bottom of your left foot. We're gonna bring your left elbow and left knee meet in the center. So we're gonna add a crunch here, a side crunch. And then point your toes towards the back wall, left hand back to the step, towards the front of the room. So pointing your toes, fingertips in opposite directions. And then elbow and knee are gonna meet again for that side crunch. Pause here, 3, 2, and 1. Reaching fingertips and toes opposite directions, lengthening, bring that left leg a little higher, and then come back to plank. So find that plank pose. Elbows are tucked under, look forward. Together we're gonna bring your knees down to the mat for a tag, and come back to plank. And then come down to your left knee, put your left foot behind you, and press the complete bottom of your right foot to the mat, particularly the right little toe. Then take a moment to stack your hips and shoulders and reach your right hand high. It's easy to dump into your left shoulder, but reach. Then we're gonna bring your right foot off the mat. Pressing through the bottom of the foot. I'm gonna point your right toes, and then take your right fingertips to reach towards the front of the room. So toes and fingertips are pointing in opposite direction. And then we're gonna bring that elbow and knee to meet. Pull your belly button and go for that crunch. We're gonna hold here for 3, 2, and 1. And then reaching fingertips and toes opposite direction. Reach and lengthen, reach, reach, reach. Bring that right leg a little higher. And then elbow and knee back for that crunch. We're gonna hold here, pull your abs in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna reach, fingertips and toes. Bring that right leg a little higher. Come on, warm up that hip. And then make your way back to plank. So I'm shifting back into plank. We're gonna bring your knees to the mat, and then bring your knees off. So lift your hips up, elbows are tucked in, look forward. Then we're gonna bring your knees down, not to tag, but on the mat. Pull your abs in, and we're gonna bring your knees off the mat back to plank in a count of 5. So knees are here on the mat. Then we're gonna slowly come up into plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're in level 2 plank. Lift your sit bones up a little bit. Now we're gonna lower yourself down for 4-point staff for a count of 5. So we're gonna come down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on the mat. Big toes together and pressing back into child's pose. So drop the sit bones back. Pause for a moment for that stretch. And then we're gonna tuck your toes under, coming back to downward facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back for 3-legged dog. And then we're gonna bring the right knee in towards your forehead, forward towards your, hold for a moment. Look forward and step your right foot through. So here's lower lunge. Both sets of toes facing forward. And we're gonna sweep your arms back and up, come to high lunge. Draw your left leg back. We're gonna draw your elbows out to your sides to a chance to open your chest. We spend so much of the day kind of forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. We're gonna come down to your left knee. Toes are gonna stay tucked under. Trying to bring your shoulders back a bit, so feeling more of that groin stretch. And make sure that you see your right big toe. So trying to have that right knee tucked towards your second and third toe. Then together, we're gonna come off your left knee and reach your fingertips to the ceiling. So one movement up. We're gonna bring your palms together, cross your right thumb over your left. We're gonna press your wrists together, and now take your fingertips to reach towards the front of the room. And coming to rest on the tips of your left toes. Trying though, not to drop and rest your belly or your torso on that right thigh. Then we're slowly bring your hands to either side of that right foot. Lowering yourself down, place your left hand flat to the mat. So your right thumb, your left thumb is touching in inside of your right foot. So that's how nice and tight you are here. We're gonna take your right hand out to your neighbor and then start to add that twist to reach your right hand to the ceiling. Draw that chest into that right thigh. Now pull your left leg back. We're gonna bring your right hand back to the mat. And then we're gonna reposition so your left hand is now further away, really stacked over your shoulders. Then we're gonna step back to plank. So shoulders are over your wrists, step back to plank. And we're gonna come back to down facing dog. We're gonna step your left foot back for 3-legged dog. Left knee in towards your forehead. And then step your left foot through for lower lunge. Both sets toes facing forward. Just sweep your arms back and up, come to high lunge. Draw your shoulders back, feeling the extension of your right leg. Think about where your left knee is tracking, trying to bring your ears back. Then draw your elbows out to your sides to a chance to stretch your chest. Bring your ears back. And then we're gonna come down to your right knee, keeping your right toes tucked under. Press that right foot back so you're engaging more of the quads. Abs engaged. And then in one movement, we're gonna come off your right knee and reach your fingertips to the ceiling. We're gonna bring your palms together, trying to collapse the space between your wrists and cross your left thumb over your right. Come on your tips of your right toes in to reach forward. Once again, try not to rest on that left thigh. Draw the right leg back. When reaching through those toes. We're gonna bring your hands down at either side of your left foot. Right thumb is right inside your left foot, so that's nice and snug, tight. Pull your abs in or take your left hand out to your neighbor, and then take a moment to take your left hand to the ceiling. Your gaze is gonna follow your left hand, and draw the chest and belly into that thigh. So you're nice and tight for that twist. Press your right foot back unless you'd like to come to your knee. Once again, you're either up or you're down. There's no halfway. We're gonna bring your left hand back to the mat. You're gonna move the right hand further away, so now you're more shoulder width apart, and step back to plank. You're gonna find the plank. We're gonna come down to our knees for the tag and press back up. We're gonna come down to your right knee, pivot your right foot behind you, kneeling side plank. Press that complete bottom of your left foot to the mat, particularly your left little toe. Take a moment to stack your hips and shoulders and reach your left hand to the ceiling. Lift your left hand high. Now bring your left foot off the mat. We're gonna point your left toes, take your left fingertips towards the front of the room, and we're gonna go for 2 crunches here. Left elbow, left knee. Hold here. Pull your belly in. You got 5 to go. 4. Abs fold in for 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly extending your arms and legs opposite directions. Control the movement. And then we're gonna bring your elbow and knee back to center. Pull your belly button in. Once you're there, you're gonna hold. Scoop your abs in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slowly move out of it. Reach your fingertips, toes in opposite direction. Being quick is not the goal. And then we're gonna slowly make your way back to plank. Find your plank. And then we're gonna come down to your left knee, pivot your left foot behind you. Press the complete bottom of your right foot to the mat. And then take a moment to stack your shoulders. Reach your right hand up. And then bring your right foot off the mat. Pressing through the bottom of the foot. We're gonna point your right toes and take your right hand to reach towards the front of the room. So fingertips and toes will point in opposite direction. Try to bring that right leg a little higher. Belly pulled in, here's your crunch. Right elbow, left knee. Nice and slow into getting into it, and then we're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna move out of it. Nice and slow, engage, reach, 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 lengthen. One, don't drop through that right hip. Then right elbow, left knee, back in the right knee, back into that center of that crunch. Pull your belly button in. We have 5 to go here. And then we're gonna slowly extend. Fingertips in opposite direction. Bring that right leg a little higher. And then make your way back to plank. So find that plank. Elbows are tucked under. We're gonna come back into downward facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back for 3-legged dog. And then bring the right foot through for lower lunge. Both sets toes facing forward. Feel free to come to your knee anytime you like. So your arms back and up, come to high lunge. Draw your left leg back. Elbows out to your sides. We're gonna open your chest here. Think about where your right knee is tracking, so be able to see your right big toe minimally. And then come down to your left knee. Keep your toes tucked under. You're gonna bring your ears back. Holding here for a moment, press your left foot back. So you feel the engagement of your quads. It's subtle. Abs in. We're gonna do this move 3 times. We're gonna come off that knee and reach your fingertips to the ceiling. So nice, not swift, but engage, reach, lengthen. And then we're gonna slowly make our way back. That knee down, elbows are tucked in, elbows are in, squeeze, open your chest. Then we're gonna slowly press back up. Again, and you're not moving quickly, you're moving very distinctly, deliberately. And then we're gonna slowly bring your elbows back up, coming down to your left knee. You're gonna bring your ears back, shoulders back. Once more, we're gonna slowly press up, slow, engage, purposeful, mindful. Palms together, we're gonna cross your right thumb over your left. We're gonna collapse the space between your wrist and reach forward. Come the tips of your left toes, pull your left knee back. Not resting on your right thigh. 5 to go here. And then we're gonna bring your hands down at either side of your right foot. We're gonna bring your left thumb so it's touching the inside of your right foot, and take your right hand out to your neighbor. Then we're gonna take a moment to stack. Come into your twist. So have this twist tight. Now, option is to stay here with your right hand. We're gonna turn that hand and bend your elbow and bring the back of the hand along your back and capture perhaps your left waist. This rolls the right shoulder back to open up for that half bind. Now draw your left leg back. Look over your right shoulder. And then slowly come out of your half bind, take your right fingertips back to the ceiling. And then bring your right hand down. And you're gonna step back to plank. Find your plank, and then back to down facing dog. We're gonna step the left foot back, pull your right knee back so you're feeling a stretch along your right leg. And then we're gonna bring your left knee in towards your forehead, moment, and then look forward and step your left foot through. So finish out that lower lunge, draw your right leg back, and sweep your arms back and up, come to high lunge. So take a moment to stack. Feel free to come to your knee anytime you like. Try to bring your ears back, and then draw your elbows out to your sides. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. You're feeling the chest stretch. Bring your sternum out. Then we're gonna come down to your right knee, and then press your right foot back. So you're gonna engage your quads. You should feel that little bit subtle movement, engagement, abs pulled in. We're gonna move slowly. We're gonna come off the right knee and take your fingertips up to the ceiling. So don't be in a rush. Feel the strength. And then we're gonna slowly come back down. Pause. Bring your shoulders back. I'm gonna slowly lift back up. Draw your right knee back. Extend your right leg. And then we're gonna come back one last time here. Pause. And then we're gonna slowly press back up. We're gonna bring your palms together, collapse this between your wrists, cross your left thumb over your right, and then reach forward. Draw your right leg back. So you're just on the back of your right toes. Pull your belly button in. 5 to go here. Bring your hands down either side of that left foot. The right thumb is right inside your left foot, so you're nice and snug with that twist. Draw your chest into your thighs and take your left hand out to your neighbor, and then up to the ceiling. Feel free to come to your right knee. If you're off the knee, you're gonna press that foot back. Both sets of toes are facing forward. If you'd like to have a half bind, you're gonna turn that left hand, bend your elbow, and bring the left hand behind your back and capture perhaps the right waist, and gaze looks over your left shoulder to the ceiling. Keep those abs engaged. Pull the belly button in. And then we're gonna slowly reach your left fingertips back to the ceiling. And then we're gonna come out of that twist back to lower lunge, reposition both hands, and step back to down facing dog. We're gonna walk those hands back to join your feet. Forward fold for a moment. We're gonna bend your knees and capture with peace fingers each big toe. So encircle big toes, press your big toes into your fingers. So there's your bind right there. Elbows out to your sides. And we're gonna take your gaze and look behind you. Then use your biceps to pull your chest into your thighs, rooting your big toes on your fingers and lift your sit bones up. There's a lot going on here. It's easy to just hold, but I want you lifting your sit bones, pull your knees back, draw your chest, your torso into your thighs. Hopefully, you built some heat here, so you've got some stretch here. Do the work. 5 to go for monkey. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly release your big toes, and then we're gonna walk those hands up. And we're gonna bring your palms together, hands at heart center. It's gonna help lower the heart rate a bit. Hopefully your legs are a bit warm. We're gonna stretch your hips here. So we're gonna heel toe your feet together. Between sides, we're gonna come here. Palms together in a mountain position. It's gonna just a chance to lower that heart rate, the orthostatic pressure. We're gonna come into mountain. Tailbone tucked under, lifting through your crown. Roll your shoulders back, abs in, and now start to hinge. Walk those hands down. Here's your forward fold. Feet are together, and take a look at your knees, your thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need to bring your hands on the mat. Fingertips on the mat, palms down, whatever's comfortable for you. But shaking your head yes and no. Now we're gonna bend your knees significantly and let the right foot cross over your left, but we're not stacking your feet together. So both feet wanna be flat on the mat. Those big toes might be somewhat together. Bend your knees. Not worrying about where you're going just yet. Keep those knees bent. Trying to press the complete foot, right foot, left foot on the mat. Now walk your hands underneath your shoulders. So walk those hands back. Again, take a look at your right knee. Now start to lift your sit bones up. So now you start to feel the stretch in your hip. You're gonna feel it where you need to feel it, but letting your head look at your knee. Your head wants to look forward. Focusing on lifting your sit bones up. So wherever in your breath cycle, we're gonna let the breath out. We're gonna take a big breath in here, in through the nose, And then out through the nose, we're gonna start to lift your sit bones up a little bit higher, straighten your legs, challenge this hip stretch. We're not gonna hold our breath here, we're gonna hold this pose. I have 2 counts of 5, we're not gonna rush it. We're really focusing and stretching your hips here for 5. In my head, it's not 5 breath counts, it's 5 Canadian counts. Halfway. So now going a little bit challenge a little bit more. Don't be afraid of doing your work. You built the heat here. And now we're gonna bend your knees. We're gonna let your right foot cross back over. Now back in a forward fold. Then we're gonna walk your hands up. Mountain with hands at heart center. Press. What this does is engages your shoulders and chest. Let that blood flow come out of your head. Tailbone tucked under. You're not sitting in a chair. Don't sway your back. Abs pulled in. Come on, press, press, press. Respecting difference from right to left. So be mindful that when we go to the other side, we're gonna release, come back to mountain, and now we're gonna go to forward fold. So forward fold here, knowing that one side got a good stretch, you're gonna feel a little bit off keifer, that's okay. Take a look at your knees, bend your knees, and now take your left foot and cross it over your right. Once again, you're not stacking your feet together. Both feet wanna be on the mat. Focusing on just finding that root. Now walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Take a look at your left knee. Now lift your sit bones up. Challenge this stretch. Abs pulled in. Breathing, smiling. It's easy to kind of back away from doing a little bit of a deep stretch here. But I really want you to focus on being challenging yourself in the stretch. Now, rubbing your breath cycle, you let your breath out. And together we're gonna take a big breath in here through the nose. And this breath out, we're gonna go a bit deeper. Come on, let it out. Surrender, challenge yourself. We're gonna hold for 10 breaths. Nope, yep, 10 counts, not breaths, sorry. And it's my count, not your count. Meaning, I want you to focus on just challenging yourself. Relaxing your head, lifting your sit bones. Rooting both feet, particularly the inside of that left foot. Abs pulled in. Come on, lift, challenge, lift the sit bones up a little higher. Final 3 here. And 2, and 1. We're gonna cross your left foot back over, feet together, forward fold, and then we're gonna walk those hands up. Hands at heart center. It's gonna help with orthostatic pressure. Tailbone tucked under, and press, press, press. Back to mountain. We're gonna walk your feet hip level apart. We're gonna sit back in a chair. So drop your sit bones back, let your toes wiggle, sitting back in a chair. Now where you are in chair, we just do a couple bounces. Just kind of shake out those knees. And we're gonna press up to tall mountain. So we're gonna listen to our back, we're gonna press up to tall mountain, press your pelvis forward, and roll that back over a large exercise ball. Arms on either side of your ears, press your pelvis forward, and now squeeze your glutes. Lift your heart center to the ceiling. Listen to your back. Challenge it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna come up, and we're gonna come into airplane. Reach your fingertips out to your right, to your left. Hinging through your hips, head slightly above your heart. Legs are straight. Not locking your knees so they're slightly bent. And now reach your fingertips out to your right, your left. Arms are long. Reach, reach, reach. Now pull your shoulder blades back to give some space between your ears and your shoulders. Those shoulders want to tend to creep up. Abs scooped in and then come to forward fold. So pausing for a moment here. And then when you're ready, we're gonna walk those hands forward and make your way to plank. So find that plank. And then we're gonna come back to downward facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back for 3-legged dog. And then bring the right foot through for lower lunge. And flip that left foot. Rooting all 4 corners of your left foot. Pull your left knee back. Engage with your quads here. Then you're gonna take your fingertips forward, up to the ceiling, and then open to warrior 2. We're gonna bring your hands to your hips. We're gonna straighten your right leg and tuck your tailbone under. So ears over shoulders over hips, meaning we're gonna tuck the tailbone under, and imagine there's a plane of glass in front of you and behind you. So we can't tap forward, and you can't have your bum tap it back. Now arms are straight, reaching to the front and back of the room. We're gonna turn through your shoulders so your palms are facing up. Fingertips and thumbs are together, but your hands are flat. Now take your gaze over your right hand. That right leg is still straight. bringing that shoulder over your hip because we start to kind of reach forward through your right hand. That's not the goal. Now through your knee only, take the knee into a lunge. Tracking towards the second and third toe and pull the left knee back. So again, you're rooting, really feel that left little toe. As you start to come into that lunge, that left little toe comes off the mat. So we're gonna come out of that right knee lunge, hands at heart center, hands at permeate hips again, tailbone tucked under, pull your belly button in, use your shoulders over hips, arms are long, palms facing up, fingertips and thumbs together, eyes are over your right hand, and now add the lunge. So pull your left knee back, really rooting your left little toe. We have 5 to go here for Warrior 2. We're gonna move through your torso, take your right hand and reach forward. So let that right shoulder come forward. Then you're gonna bring your right arm inside your thigh and take a moment to stack your shoulders, fingertips reach in opposite directions. Pull your left knee back. Rooting your left little toe, so that left foot should be flat to the mat. Hot angle for 5 more here. And then just take your right hand to reach forward. We're gonna flip it. Take your right hand to the ceiling and left hand's gonna come behind your left leg. We're gonna come out of your lunge and go back to your lunge for reverse warrior. Eyes are gonna take a look at your right hand, maybe to the ceiling, maybe slightly past, reaching more towards the back wall. And then we're gonna cartwheel those hands on the either side of your right foot. Both sets toes facing forward, so let your left hip slide forward and step back at downward facing dog. We're gonna step your left foot back and then bring your left foot through for lower lunge. Turn that right foot, pulling your right knee back, rooting that right little toe, and just bring your hands forward. Then we're gonna bring your hands to the ceiling, and then turn to stack your shoulders over hips. Hands are gonna come at hips, and you're gonna straighten your left leg. So you can imagine that plane of glass in front of you, behind you. So bring your nose back, take your bum under, pull your right knee back, and then float your arms. And we're gonna, from your shoulders, you're gonna turn so your palms are facing up, bring your fingertips and thumbs together, palms up or flat, abs pulled in. Gaze is over your left hand. Now add the lunge. The lunge comes through your knee rather than your shoulder tends to want to help you. So to keep that left shoulder back. Let that left knee track towards the second and third toe. Pull your right knee back. Where's that right little toe? Engage your left little toe, right little toe. Then we're gonna come out of the lunge and bring your hands at heart center, hands at hips again. So tuck your tailbone under, bring your ears back. Arms are long. Turn so your palms are facing up. Hands are flat. And then add that lunge through the knee only. If you need to, kind of just pull that right shoulder back a bit. So you've kind of got that nice long straight line. Pull your right knee back. Abs pulled in. We tend to think, forget about those poor abs in Warrior 2. Then we're gonna move through your torso. So let your left shoulder slide forward as you take your left hand and reach towards the front of the room. And then bring that arm inside your thigh and take a moment to stack your shoulders. Reach in opposite directions. Pull your right knee back. Gaze is gonna look at your right hand. Come on, reach in opposite directions. So this is lengthening. You're not holding a pose, you're growing through it. And then you're gonna take your left hand to reach towards the front of the room and up to the ceiling. The right hand's gonna come behind that right leg. Reverse warrior, we're gonna straighten your left leg and then go back to the lunge. Left hand maybe go slightly past midline towards the back wall. Pull your right knee back and root your right little toe. Focus on your right little toe right here. And then from reverse warrior, we're gonna cartwheel those hands, hand the other side of your left foot, both sets toes facing forward, and step back at downward facing dog. We're gonna step your right foot back, and bring your right knee towards your right wrist, right leg comes across your mat, and walk your left leg back. We're gonna come into pigeon pose, walk those hands behind the right foot, right knee, set your pelvis. And we're gonna lead with your left elbow forearm, so let your left hip slide forward, bring your elbow forearm followed by your right. So we're gonna sink down a little bit deeper. We've stretched the hip once already, so don't be afraid to really challenge it here in this pigeon pose. Feel free to come down, bring your forehead to the mat. You can stack your fists. But try to let your left hip slide forward. It's easy to kind of roll to that right hip to ease out of it. That's not the goal here. We wanna work into this stretch. 5 to go. If you would like, we can bend that left knee and bring the left heel towards that left hip. So just gonna add the left quad stretch. but we want to still keep the integrity of pigeon stretch of that right hip. So if you're sacrificing that, stay in pigeon and not come to king pigeon. An option is you can take your left hand and reach anatomically above the ankle. Five to go. 3. And then we're gonna slowly tuck those left toes under. We're gonna bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We're gonna bring your left knee off the mat. So we're gonna just pause your left knee off the mat. And then abs pulled in. It's gonna be a lot of core as you step your right foot back into three-legged dog, giving it a good shake. And then bring the right foot down. We're gonna switch sides. Step your left foot back. And then bring your left knee towards your left wrist, left leg across the mat. And walk your right leg back. Then walk your hands behind the knee and the foot. It helps to set your pelvis. And then we're gonna come to right elbow form first, so let the right hip slide forward, followed by your left, and just feel that hip. Take a moment. We spend a bit of time on the other side, so don't anticipate that you're gonna get to where you ended off. Feel free to come down onto your forehead. You can stack fists if you like. Reach your arms out forward. Find that pigeon stretch. Feel that left hip. Great sciatica. Great pose if you suffer from sciatica. You're really stretching that piriformis here. And remembering to breathe. If you would like, and you're not gonna twist out of this, you can bring the right heel, bending the right knee and bring the right heel towards that right hip. You can even reach around and grab anatomically above the ankle. But you really want to feel that left hip stretch. Five to go. Again, it's not 5 count, it's 5 count in my head. Ready? Elbows are tucked under. Use your triceps. We're going to come down for 5. 4. Final plank here. 3, 2, 1. Down to the mat. Then we're going to bring your fingertips forward so your arms are straight out in front of you and legs out behind you. We're going to turn. No, we're not. We're going to keep your chin on the mat. No, you're resting here, so let's pull your belly button in because you let your abs go. So pull your belly button in. We're going to keep your legs and arms separated. You can do single arm, opposite leg if you like. So if you want to do right arm, left leg off the mat, we're going to slowly come up. Otherwise, abs pulled in, engage that core, and we're going to bring both arms, both legs off the mat. Now just draw your shoulders back a bit. Trying to bring more of your thighs off the mat. Lifting one more rib off the mat. We're going to hold here for Superman for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to slowly come down. It's easy to just drop down, but I want you to resist. Coming to rest on your chin. Pull your abs in. And then let your abs go. So feel that distinct of where your belly is hanging on the mat. Now, modified is gonna be left arm, right leg. So we're gonna scoop your abs in either way, whatever you're gonna do. And then when you're ready, we're gonna bring arms and legs off the mat. Let's pull your shoulder blades down your spine and bring your legs up a little higher. Go and reach, reach, reach. Challenge it. One more rib off the mat. More of your thighs off the mat. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, you're using your back here for 3, 2, 1. We're gonna slowly come down, resting on your chin. We're gonna bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And you just worked your back. So I want you to scoop your abs in, let your core help you as you slowly press up and back into child's pose. Again, remember, you just worked your back muscles here, so let your abs help you. And then from here, we're gonna roll ourselves over onto our sit bones, legs out in front. So legs out in front. I'm gonna come around with straps in a moment. So we wanna bring your ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. So your back is straight. You can even do this alongside of along a wall if you want to just check your spine. Heels are anchored, toes reaching the ceiling, feet are flat. So imagine that you're pressing your feet forward. Now press your knees into your mat though, because it's easy to start to kind of let your knees come off the mat. Abs pulled in, shoulders pulled down, hands resting wherever's comfortable for you. But I want you to lift through your crown as you're pressing your feet forward, but you're not going anywhere. It's static, but it's lengthening, it's not a rest. Now we're gonna slide your heels towards you. We're gonna find those peace fingers and we're gonna reach around and grab each big toe. Press your big toes into your fingers. Now you've already got your bind. Your big toes are engaged, that's gonna be the secret. Now start to slide your feet forward. You're gonna make your way in a forward fold. Keep your back straight, pull your shoulders back, and try to press your knees into your mat. Now roll your shoulders back, look through your heart center, look forward. You're not looking at your feet. I promise you know that they're there. Now, big breath in here, and this breath out, we're gonna go a little bit deeper. Hinging through your hips. Now I want you to tuck your chin in, and then pull your chin back, away. So look forward. Lengthen your spine, bring your ears back a bit, shoulders pulled back. Wherever in your breath cycle, you let your breath out. This breath in, press your big toes into your fingers, and then ready? Let's go a little further. Come on, reach, reach, reach. Holding for 5, trying to press your knees into your mat. 4, 3, 2, and when we're gonna let go of your big toes, we're gonna come up and we're gonna roll ourselves over onto our backs. So you're gonna rest flat on your mat. I'm gonna come around with straps. So you are in Shavasana, but we're not going to Shavasana. Just take a moment to just rest on your mat. Check into what's feeling good, what's feeling a bit challenging. And then we're going to slowly draw one knee followed by the other to the mat, whatever that looks like for you. Reach around, grabbing, holding. Now we're going to release your left leg down to the mat. And we're going to press your right foot up towards the ceiling. Okay. So keep your head and spine on the mat. Foot is reaching to the ceiling. Now take your strap and you're going to wrap it around the bottom of your right foot. Even if you don't need it. So the left leg is long with those toes reaching to the ceiling. Both ends of the strap are going to go in the right hand. Take your left hand, palm is facing up, and reach out to your neighbor. Try to keep that left shoulder pressing into your mat though. The foot is pressing into the strap, so it's not just holding here, it's always, you're lengthening and pressing through the bottom of the foot. And then let that right foot come out to the side, right side. The right hand helps guides it. Pressing your foot into the strap, so engage. Your left hand is going to grab both ends of your strap. Your right hand is now going to reach out to your neighbor, shoulder pressed down, abs pulled in because there's a twist. Pressing that foot into your strap and let that strap now come over towards your left side. Not worrying about where you end up. You're just letting this stretch happen. We're going to keep that right shoulder pressed back. Strap escape. You're going to take both hands and wrap it around your calf. Point your toes. And you're going to bring your head off the mat and trying to bring your forehead and knee and neat. Elbows are in. You don't have to make contact, but you're trying to go for the reach. Breathing in and breathing out. And then you're going to slowly release your head back to the mat. Bending your knee and pulling that knee in towards your chest. We're going to bring the right knee up towards your armpit to escape that rib cage. We're going to bring that right knee back in. And now bringing the right leg down to join your left, so both legs are straight. And then we're going to bend your left knee, bring that knee in. Hugging it in for a moment. And then pressing that foot up toward the ceiling. The right leg is relatively straight with those toes pointing towards the ceiling. Left leg is long. Then find your strap and wrap it around the bottom of your left foot. The foot is actively pressing into your strap and both ends of the strap go into your left hand. Just as we did on your right, we're going to take your right hand to your neighbor, palm is facing up, shoulder anchored. And you're going to have the left foot come out to your left side. Press that foot into your strap though. Not worrying about how low you go. Pressing your right shoulder into your mat though. Breathing in and breathing out here. Now take both ends of the strap in your right hand. Take your left hand out to your neighbor, palm is facing up. And let that left leg come over to the right side. Abs pulled in. Press your foot into your strap. So the leg is engaged. Into your knee into your forehead. Elbows are tucked in. Squeeze your elbows in. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we're going to slowly release that head. Bring your knee into your chest. And then bring that knee out to the armpit to escape the rib cage. Both knees in. And for the last time, just unlock your back a bit. You can kind of move from side to side, even forward and back if you want. Just cheap, easy massage. And then we're going to make our way to Shavasana. So we're going to bring your feet down, and let your toes fall away from midline. Hands down to your sides, palms ideally facing up if you can. Relaxing your shoulders and closing your eyes. So here, as you make your way into Shavasana, again, knowing it's really an opportunity to let your body begin to heal. It's called a restorative pose. It's a chance for you to just quiet that mind. So wherever your breath cycle, you're going to let the breath out. And then together, we're going to expand your breath. We're going to let that breath in through your nose, and then this time out through your mouth. Let all the breath just out. Breathe it all away. to your spine. You're gonna make your way up to a seated position. Hands at heart center. And namaste. Thank you for coming and sharing your energy with me.